Hello and
Hello,
welcome
how are
to
you?
another. I'm good, Jen. How are you?
Good, good.
Good. So we're here with another Pursuit 365 Talk Wednesday brought to you by Leanne Miles. And Leanne runs Limited and Clinton Wilkins mortgage team. And through her generosity, we're able to bring Talk Wednesdays to our community. And with me today is Jennifer Mercer. And Jen is an HR guru. So she has a business by the name of I Am HR. Did I get that correct, Jen?
That's right. That's right.
Perfect. And I should clarify as well. Are you a Jen or are you a Jennifer, or does it matter?
Doesn't matter. Whatever you like. Jen's good.
Oh, perfect. Okay. I tend to be someone that shortens names, and not everybody likes their names shortened. I'm a Steph all the way, even though, I'm a Stephanie. I'm a Steph, right? So, but I always like to check because I don't want to offend anybody. So anyway,
You never know.
welcome. I had the pleasure of meeting Jen, oh my gosh, probably close to 2 years ago
Years ago.
now.
I think so. Pre-COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, Jennifer Daerendinger, who many of you in our community know because you've had the pleasure of chatting with Jen. She had a small gathering at her home here in Sarnia, and Jen Mercer was able to come down from, you reside in, is it St. Thomas?
In St. Thomas. Yep. Just outside London. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So she made
Yeah.
the trek down here, and I had the pleasure of meeting her, and her and I connected because being in the food realm, Jen's husband is a chef, and we right away bonded and hit it off. And she actually was able to give me a few tips and tricks and was willing to connect me with her husband and all the things. And that's the beautiful part of this amazing community. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you and all things human resources. Okay, so
Okay.
as a business person, I have to admit I am very ignorant to the world of HR. So, is there such a thing as like the Cole's Notes, the Reader's Digest, the simplistic? How do you summarize what human resources is?
Okay. That's a great question. So a lot of people think human resources is just hiring and firing. And that's not the best part of our day, but but certainly being able to find the right people, to be working with your business, put them in the right role, and then to be able to nurture those people and help them grow in their own careers, and supporting the small business that's just isn't. HR is not your thing. That's not what you're in business for. You have your own business and you're an expert in that area. And just HR is able to help you and a small business with, like I say, bringing the right people in, coaching, and hiring, and just policies and procedures. We work with that too. Understanding what the law is, keeping up to date with all the laws, and then informing businesses and helping businesses so that they can stay in compliance with any legislation that's come about.
Well, and that alone, as a small business owner, that feels like a full-time job in and of itself, right? Because things are always changing, from minimum wage to I don't know, like what would so as a small business owner, is it something where I could like where I would literally go, okay, here, take it all, or could I hand certain aspects, or like I'm like genuinely ignorant to this, and I feel that if I am, I'm sure a lot of people are, right? And that's
Right.
where you trying to get into the head of me, because I'm probably your ideal client, but I don't I don't understand it. So, is it something where I can give you one little aspect, or do I have to give it all to you?
Mm-hmm.
Does my question make sense?
It does make sense. Absolutely. So some businesses, it could go either way. But really it's whatever you need help with. So whatever is most painful for the business to do, then that's where I can come in and help. So it's usually, if it's a smaller business, it'll be bits and pieces, and it can be ebb and flow too. So it can be coming in and working on a project, putting some policies together, helping find some people, find the right people for you. And then we may not see each other for 3 months or 6 months. And then something else comes up and you say, hey, now I need some help with something else. So it's understanding. And then with my clients too, I'll keep them up to date on any legislative changes so that they're always aware of what's coming up and what's changing, so that you're not caught off guard on anything that's happening with the Ministry of Labor. And so it can be bits and pieces, or it can be all of it. So the name of my company is I Am HR, which really is I am the business's HR in a lot of cases. So if whatever comes up, I can come in and help out with. And then some other businesses I'll work with that are larger businesses that actually have an HR department, and then they need just one piece. They need some help with a project, or they need some help with coaching or facilitating meetings. And then I would come in and just work on that particular piece for them, supporting their HR department. Yeah.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. So what led you to HR initially? Did you was that your goal initially? Did you start somewhere and you found, that this is where your skill set led you, or what was your journey? I know that's a big question, but what was your journey to land you to where you are today?
Yeah. So I originally, when I went to school the first time, I went and have a marketing diploma from way back when, and then started working in that field and realized it was pretty much going to be just sales. And that wasn't really what I wanted to do. I wanted to work with people in a different way. So I was exposed to in business, just in different jobs, exposed to human resources, and just started to learn a little bit more about what that department did and what different job opportunities were available. And it really interested me. So then I went back to school and got my human resource diploma at night, and then wrote for my designation for the province, which at that time took 2 summers of studying. But yeah, so it was just something I was interested in. I like to bond with people and help people, and I love business. So, and small businesses are awesome to work with. I had the privilege of working with amazing people, which is really good part of my day.
Well, yeah, I can see why that would be the case, right? Because as I'm unpacking this, it's like you're the godsend of the small business owner, really, right? Because I know I'm dealing with my year end right now, and the accounting side of business is like not in my wheelhouse at all. And it's the part of business that can so quickly give me shame, right? And this is where so many business owners, we feel, or we think, especially when we're new to business, that I got to know it all, right? In order to be the superstar business, I have to wear all the hats, and we don't. And this is where it's knowing what your strengths are, right? And then knowing where you can hire things out. But again, as a small business owner too, sometimes what gets intimidating is, can I afford that? So again, and sometimes it's, well, you can't afford not to, right? So I'd love to have you unpack a little bit of that as well.
Sure, absolutely. So one of the things I introduced this year for small businesses was a monthly package that they can purchase, and then that allows for a newsletter, and then which will keep you up to date, and then some topics that people are interested in. And then I also have a section on the last page where I'm promoting other clients as well, if they want to promote their business. So that we continue to share that business referrals. And then this allows for the client to know they can budget it. They know it's monthly, how much it is. And then they know that then that covers your annual budget too, right? And then every month as well, we have a 20, 40-minute call, whatever you need. And then that way you can ask me questions. So if something comes up during the month and you say, oh, I wonder what I do with this, or I wonder how I handle that situation, or you know something's coming up and you say, I want to do the hiring, but I'm going to do it myself. How do I go about doing it, right? So then we can go through steps and I can coach on that situation. So it offers the ability to have someone that knows HR that can answer your questions. So you're not alone. So you don't feel like you're alone, or where on earth would I go online to find that information? So you're getting that information, keeping you up to date on any changes, and you have that one-on-one conversation every month. So I'm finding clients are really enjoying that. That's because it's just, like I say, it just gives them that resource so that you're not alone. And then if something comes up during the month, they can just email me, and just, it doesn't have to be that particular scheduled time. If something comes up, obviously it's far better for me to know early on in the situation so that we can address something right from the beginning, versus trying to do a few things and then coming to me once you've tried a few things that didn't work, and then it might be a little bit messier. So it's cleaner to know right from the beginning, and then we can just create a path and go forward that way. So that was one thing I introduced this year for smaller businesses, so that they can still have exposure to HR and get some advice and have that confidence.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So now, do you work with most of your clients virtually, in person, a little bit of both? And again, we know that the world has really changed and shifted over the last couple years, but
right.
What's your preferred model, or what do you find you tend to do the most of?
All the above. So it could be, if it's coaching and you're meeting once a month to have a conversation, it could be in person, could be online, like we're talking here, or it could be meet at a coffee shop and have a conversation, depending on how confidential it is, obviously. But yeah, all the above. So quite often I'll work tomorrow. I'm going to work in a client's office for the day. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Today I'm working on project work, so I'm able to do that at home. And then once I get so far with a particular project, then I'll be at the client's office meeting with them and then reviewing everything there. So it is completely hybrid. It could be phone calls. Quite often I can answer questions on the phone if something comes up in a hurry. Yeah. So it can be anything, whatever works for the client. Whatever makes sense.
And are you a one-woman show? Are you it, or do you have a team that works with you?
I do have some people that do work with me. And that's if I have a project or something, I have a pool of resources that are available to me. There are other consultants doing their own work, not necessarily all in HR, but it could be somebody who is really good at recruiting, and that's their focus, is recruiting. So then I would contact that person if we need help with that. So yes, I am my own business, but I bring in resources as I need them. And I have a trusted group of people that I can work with to provide some support. Yeah.
And I did notice on your website that, you were definitely a collaborator, which is amazing, because you were right out there with, hey, and these are some key people, that I like to support, and that I want to point you in that direction. And
yes,
that I'm all about that. I loved seeing that. And because there's not enough of that too often, in my opinion. A lot of business owners, right? They hoard their information. And, I'm a believer in, lifting each other up and supporting one another. So I love
absolutely.
that. I love
that. Absolutely. Now, I agree. Totally agree.
Is there an aspect of HR that, what's your favorite aspect, right? Because we know that there's a lot of things, as I've learned, right? A lot of things that fall under your umbrella, but what's what's your favorite? What's the ultimate, if I could do that all day, I would do it. What's your favorite aspect of what you do?
I like the coaching employees, and coaching coaching business owners too, but it's wonderful to see somebody come from a certain place, or there's a misunderstanding, and then being able to work with them to clear up that misunderstanding so that they're able to continue on with their career if it's advancing in their career, or if there's a misunderstanding with a coworker or the business, and bridging that gap and bringing them together and educating and resolving, a problem solver all the way. So yeah, I enjoy that a lot.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And that can be a total game changer for, for the business owner and the employee. Like, and how
It can.
rewarding and fulfilling that must be.
That is. It is very rewarding. It's very, and that's why I say I get to work with some awesome people. And sometimes there's misunderstandings in business, with employees, and having the opportunity to just clear the air and help them work through the process and resolve issues. And it is rewarding. Yeah, I enjoy that a lot. Mm-hmm. And then with business owners too, if they're misunderstanding or not understanding, I had calls last week when the government did announce the 10 paid 10 paid sick days. And I had clients like, what's happening? And so just being able to clear the air and say, it doesn't apply to you, it's all good. And just to be able to help people so that if there's that panic that what's happening, then I'm able to just sort it out, and then they can breathe easy. Yeah.
Whew. Yeah. It's amazing when you can help a business owner exhale. Because yes. I know a lot of us, right? We're white knuckling it and we're holding our breath, right? Hoping and praying.
And then you hear something on the news incredible. And it just gives you a bit of a panic, or on social media, you see something. So I'm able to provide the right information that's applicable to their business.
Wow. Yeah. That is priceless in and of itself. That's absolutely incredible. Now, before I hit record today, you and I were chatting, and you had shared that that you've been listening to the masses, you've been listening to your people, your clients and whatnot, and you discovered that some change is necessary, and you're not going in a new direction, but you're implementing some new things. So I would love for you to share what you're working on and what's coming down the pipe with everyone.
Okay,
here.
Sure. Yeah. So one of the things that we're all aware of as employees are hard to find. So what some businesses are struggling with finding HR professionals. And so what we've done is in some cases, internally promoted from within, somebody that was headed in that direction, but maybe brought them ahead a little faster to be able to fill a vacancy. And then I'm able to work with them and say, okay, they understand the organization. They know the company really well. They're headed in that direction in HR. So let's promote them, put them in that role. And then I've been in the background helping them and coaching them so that they can get up to speed a little bit faster, and just having that person that if they're in a junior role, I have a few like this, they're in a more junior role and they've been promoted a little bit faster, which is great. They're both excelling. They're doing an amazing job. But it's just that comfort level to have somebody to say, who can I call if I run into this situation, or you run into something that's challenging that they haven't run across before, then they have somebody that they can call and receive that coaching so that you can be promoted a little bit faster. So that's been good. And then also sometimes somebody's come from outside the business and again, a bit more junior, but still able to do the job and eager to do the job, just needing that support of somebody who's been there, done that, seen that scenario. But there's always 101 different scenarios, but having more exposure to different things, and then you can guide them and provide that support. So that's been really interesting, because it's working more with not just me being the HR for the business, but me, again, supporting the business with HR in a bit of a different way, and supporting the individual within the department. So that's been really
great.
Rewarding as well.
That's great. Yeah. Oh, I love to hear that. I love to hear that, right? New. Because if we're not being fulfilled either, right? Our cup needs to get filled up, right? Because too often as business owners, we can get so wrapped up in in our customers and the giving and the, so it's nice when you find that thing that really lights you up and makes you want to go to work every day and
Exactly.
and help your people. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay,
Yeah.
so we've learned that you're in St. Thomas, which for those that don't understand geography, sort of it's a
Just
London
outside
area.
London. Yeah.
There you go. Just say I know I'm on my way to London and I veer off the highway. So where is it technically south of? Is it south of
Yes.
London, kind of, sort
South.
of?
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just
South.
trying to think of the geography there.
You know where Costco South is?
So
Just keep going south.
yes.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Been there many times for hockey, but
Yeah.
again, I've never really thought about it like on the grid, so to speak. But so where do you find your area of service is? Like, are you mainly that pocket of London area? Are you Toronto? Are you, like, I'm down in the Sarnia area? Where do you find that your geographical reach tends to be? Or are you clearly across Canada? Or is HR more of a provincial thing?
It's definitely a provincial, right? Because it's the Ministry of Labor for the province. British Columbia is pretty close to Ontario in the legislation. That would be the closest two provinces that have similar legislation. So I have worked with businesses in BC. And primarily, though, it's Ontario. It is definitely Ontario. So I've got some north of Toronto, Lambton County, down where you are, and Middlesex, London, Strathroy, St. Thomas, but happy to go wherever the business is, really, right? Because I can help them anywhere in Ontario. I'm certified for province of Ontario, so anywhere in Ontario I can help a business. Yeah,
amazing. I know two different gals from our area that are both in your line of work, and in speaking with both of them, they are both like blown away at how busy they are and how how much their services are in demand. Have you found that that's been have you seen a surge with everything that happened through the pandemic, or did you notice like an impact there? As much as I don't want to talk about COVID, we do know that it has affected our overall realm of things.
Yes, absolutely. Certainly. So when it first hit, there was a lot of confusion, right? And a lot of, how do we manage this? What do we do if people are ill? And how do we manage that? And are we closing our business, leaving it open? So there was a lot of that, a lot of policies that were mandated. So getting businesses prepared with those. And then also working from home used to be a really had a bad connotation. It was really, if you're working from home, obviously you're not doing anything, right? So that had to change. Like, that thought process had to change, and quickly. So in having people work from home, how do you monitor that? How do you manage that, right? So putting some policies in place. And really the key thing is that people honestly, vast majority of people want to do a good job. Right? They go to work and they have a pure heart and they really want to do a good job. So keeping that mentality alive, and not that somebody's not working if they're at home, but you need to put structure in place so that there's a way to monitor and set expectations and just really communicate. Communication became really big as well, far more than we did before, I think. Just really having open, honest conversations and just finding your way. Right. So if somebody's ill, okay, let's talk about that. And what can we do? Right. And just having those open, honest conversations with people. And if people had to travel or couldn't travel, and okay, well, let's find a solution. Let's figure out what we can do within the law and within the business needs and the employees' needs. So there was a lot of changes, I'd say, with communication became amped up, and then the mentality behind working from home, it wasn't as scary anymore. It's like people can actually work from home and do a really great job. So, and then what are the business needs? Because some businesses you can't work from home, right? It's just, it's not possible. So how do you how do you manage all that? So really navigating that with the employer and just making sure that everybody's needs are met and finding that balance has really been the uptick on that for sure. Yeah.
So that's a perfect segue to balance, as we know, is sometimes a difficult thing. Being self-employed, being, a business owner. So I would love to know what Jennifer loves to do when you're not wearing your HR hat. So what's your yeah. So are you a music buff? Are you a theater goer? What's Jennifer all about when you're not
what I like to do
when you're not at work?
Okay, well, I love gardening. So in the summertime, love to do the gardening. And then also I have a dance class that I go to. It's called Nia. Look it up if you're interested. It's fantastic. So that's every week. And then because we're not too far from Port Stanley, which is on Lake Erie, in the summertime we go and we dance on the beach. So that's pretty fun. So we do that. Yes. Did you have a question?
No, I was going to say, so I think I've heard of Nia because I used to be a groove instructor. So in groove, and I think in that realm, I think I heard of Nia. And isn't it a little bit about kind of you're not following a set structure? You're a little bit more into your body and letting the music and whatnot move your body. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, I would say that's a good way to describe it. So there is an instructor, and you're following the instructor loosely, but she could say, "Oh, your arms are your own, so you're doing your own thing with your arms, or whatever." But you're kind of coming along together, but you do your own variation of different things, so it's very free that way.
That's right. So you get to work at your own fitness level. You get to work at your own creativity level. Yeah.
And depending on how much energy you have that day, right? Yeah. So that's fun.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. That's great. That is great.
And I love traveling.
So
it's been nice to be able to travel. Nice to travel again.
Yes. Exactly. So where's been your favorite place you've ever traveled in the world? The world's so big, it's hard to choose, but.
Oh my God. Well, I have lots of family in England, so I do have a soft spot there. But in Canada, we love Newfoundland. It is so much fun out there. The people are amazing. And we've enjoyed a few summers out there, a few summer vacations. Yeah. Love it. Out west is nice.
That's good to know. I'll be calling you. Yeah, I lived out west, but Newfoundland's on the bucket list. So I'll be calling you for tips and tricks. That
should be on every Canadian's bucket list.
I want to do it. All right. Amazing. All right. Well, Jennifer, it has been an absolute pleasure chatting with you, getting to know a little bit more about you. First of all, is there anything else that you want to make sure that people know? Where can they find you? Are you someone that hangs out on social media? Do you have a favorite platform that you like, that you find yourself on more than others? LinkedIn versus Facebook versus Insta? Where can people find you?
I'm on LinkedIn. So that's one spot, LinkedIn. And then also on my website, it's iamhr.ca. And there's a page on there, a contact page. If anybody wants to reach out. And I'd love for anybody to reach out on LinkedIn. That'd be amazing. Get connected with some of the great authors. Yeah.
That is fantastic. And before we sign off, I've used this question a couple times now in some interviews, and it's been fun. It's not my own question. There's a gentleman whose podcast I love to listen to, and it's a question that he asks all the time. Okay. And it is, so if you had to do a TED Talk on something that you're not known for, what would your TED Talk be about?
It would be on the value and the importance of meditation. It's underrated. It is underrated. And it is so important and so valuable to our mental health and our well-being and our clarity and our growth as people. And yeah, that was what I would talk about. Everybody do
That's
it.
amazing. I love that. What a great answer. I just find asking that question just gives so much insight into people. And I just love it. So it had to be borrowed. I don't like to think that I stole it. I just like to think I'm
You borrow it.
borrowing it. But
Good.
yeah, but it's the what do they call that? The footnote, goes,
The footnote,
the
yes.
credit goes to Rob.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. Well, I am HR with Jennifer Mercer. Definitely, pay her a visit on LinkedIn, visit her website, and she is clearly a fantastic resource for all of your HR needs. And I so
Thank you.
appreciate your time and this lovely conversation today, Jennifer.
Thank you,
So
Steph. I
thank you
appreciate
for
your
being
time.
here. Yeah, and
Yeah,
thank
thank
you
you.
again to Leanne Miles for the sponsorship of the Talk Wednesdays, and of course to the Pursuit 365 founder, Shelley Lynn Hughes, for her amazing vision. Because without this, I would never have the chance, to be connected to you the way I have had the pleasure multiple times now. So thank you, Shelley, and everybody have a great Wednesday.
Thank you.